Hi, my name's Mark Smart. This is the Continuum fingerboard. It was invented by Lippold Haken. It's a continuous music controller. It's continuous in 3 different directions. You can use it to control either an analog synth or a digital synth via MIDI. You can use it either polyphonically or monophonically. Right now it's set up so that the top half of the keyboard is controlling this ARP axe here through the control voltage interface. And the bottom half of the keyboard is through MIDI is controlling a Reactor software synth, which is running on this Open Labs Nico over here. So on the analog side, what I'm doing here is the pressure of the note is controlling the volume of the sound. Left or right direction is controlling the pitch, which is continuous. You can do slides and vibrato. And I also can set it up so that the front-back position is controlling a different parameter, like I can do filter cutoff. So the filter is now sweeping as I play it higher up here. So you can use those voltages for whatever you want. So the top half, since it's monophonic, what it does is it chooses whichever note you're pushing down the hardest if you're pushing down multiple notes. So you can sort of roll your fingers and get kind of a nice legato thing. So that's a legato transition. You can control the different types of transitions. So that's the legato. It only attacks at the beginning. You can put it in a different mode and it'll re-trigger. Every time you change notes, it'll re-attack. So that's nice for the percussive sounding stuff. There's a third mode called portamento. In addition to being able to portamento by sliding, you can also use this other mode and it'll slide between the 2 notes that you're playing depending on the relative pressure of the 2 notes. So that's good if you want to slide quickly and then suddenly stop on a note and have it be in tune. It's good for making whammy bar sounds. So that's the top half. On the bottom half, it's set up to be polyphonic. It's controlling through MIDI, it's controlling a Reactor over here. Each note is sent on a separate channel so that you can bend all the notes individually and control the brightness and volume. So if I play a chord here, I can control the volume of each individual note separately from the others with pressure. Or I can bend the pitch without bending the others. Or I can sweep a filter of one note without sweeping the others. So many possibilities. One thing that I like to do is use Reactor and put the whole thing in monophonic mode and sort of do a kind of a pseudo saxophone. I'm going to set it here so that so this is Reactor. I have sort of a pseudo sax. It's sort of built out of analog style building blocks. But what happens is when you push it down harder, you get a louder and a brighter sound. And then according to if you play up here, you get sort of a saxophone growl to add an additional dimension. So between the vibrato and the legato and everything, you can get a pretty expressive wind instrument. So I think this is, I play saxophone in MIDI wind controller, and I think this is just as expressive as that, except it has one more dimension to it and can be polyphonic. So lots of possibilities. So when you have it split like this, some interesting things you can do are put a lead sound up here, analog, and then a sustained sound down here. So this is kind of an Indian sounding thing. Now at the bottom I'm playing sort of a drone sound with Reactor. And I have a pedal down here that's doing a sostenuto function. If you rock the pedal forward, it will sustain whatever note it was that you were playing. And then as you rock the pedal back, you can control the volume of that note. that's kind of interesting to the Continuum is the ability to do alternate tunings. First, I should explain the rounding modes. There's a couple of rounding modes in place that make it easier to play notes in tune. Like if you, there's one turned on right now called round initial pitch. If you hit the note, it'll round it to the nearest half step, and then after that, you can bend and slide away from it. So that makes it a lot more possible to hit chords in tune and do things like that. If you're really hardcore, you can turn this off, and then it becomes like attempting to play a polyphonic violin, which is very difficult. So I usually leave that on. In addition to that, there's another function called round rate, which Jordan Rudis from Dream Theater asked for. With this function, if you play a chord, it will, and then you slide it up and you don't hit it exactly right, it'll slowly round it toward the right pitch. So that's very useful for sliding chords. So because the rounding is there, it's nice to be able to round to things other than just regular 12-tone equal temperament. So for this sort of Indian sounding stuff, it's good to have just intonation. So I'm going to put in just intonation in the key of D flat. So the seventh there is flattened a little bit so that it's more in tune. Is really good for doing sort of ornaments in the style. The just intonation thing is fun to mess around with. Now I'm going to put it back into regular tuning. The other thing I like to do with it is sort of prog rock style stuff. So I'm going to set the axe up here for a... I should explain what the synthesizer is. This is an ARP axe from 1975 that I have thoroughly modified by drilling all kinds of holes in it and adding patch points so that it works with the control voltage interface better. So now I'm going to put the bottom part in a poly mode again. Mono interval off. And then change to my patch where I have a sustained sound down here and a lead up here. So there it is. That's the Continuum fingerboard, and thank you.